Welcome back to the Night Shift, your safe space for talking about UFOs, UAPs, NHI, disclosure, and everything else your friends, family, and coworkers are so sick and tired of hearing you go on and on about. I'm talking to you today from my new handy-dandy mic stand. First new mic stand in over a decade. I'm so excited. It's all smooth and silent. It's super cool. Great to see you guys. Great to be back with you. It's 2:05 p.m. on the East Coast, and that means it's time for Friday Night Live. It's 2:05 p.m. in my time zone, but it's nighttime somewhere, right? So it's got to be, I think. I hope. Good to see all of you in the chat. We've got D Nitz is in here, Paradigm 74. I see Psionic Man's here, Zoltan's here, Pat Gallagher, Steve Wolfbrandt, Ebony's here. What's up, Ebony? Ian Riley, Cosmic Serpent. Who else do we have? Larry's here. Eugen's here. Hey, Eugen. We've got, let's see, Zoltan, we said, Obi-Wan Shinobi, Mr. Doubtfire. It's a full house. Please start smashing that like button, guys. If you guys do it early in the stream, it helps us out. It really makes a difference. And let's see if we can get it up to 500 concurrent viewers today. Let's go above. We're at 68 likes. Let's get it up to 100. We can do 100. Come on, guys. Okay, it's going to be a really interesting show today because we were just talking about what we were going to get into 5 minutes ago, and there's so much to cover. We're going to have to just white knuckle it and see if we make it through everything. Let's bring on our panel, and then we'll dig a little bit deeper. He's the host of the hottest, literally, quite literally, the hottest show on YouTube. His name's Pavel. You may know him as Psychoactivo. Pavel, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Don't exaggerate that way, dude.
It's the hottest show on YouTube. How hot is your studio right now, would you say?
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's we're getting a heat wave right now. If you hear a background noise, that's my AC. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me once again. This is a tradition now, so I love spending time with you guys. How you guys doing?
Oh, man. It's good to be with you, man. I'm so glad to finally get to do this call this week because I've been trying to catch up with you guys and keep up with our group chat for this whole last 5-6 days, and I'm just I'm spread way too thin. So this is my chance to get caught up. Let's see. Okay, hang on. I got to close the tab here. He's the master of the Dim Mak Death Touch. He's an 8-time world karate champion. He's known as the Peacemaker. He's the host of Rare Form Radio and the smash hit Others from Another podcast. Others from Another Mother. Dan Cleary's in the house. Dan, how are you, sir? It's good to see you.
Hi, friends. Hi, boys. How we doing?
Are you ready for Doomer Friday?
I'm born ready. I'm ready for Doomer Monday. I'm ready for Doomer Tuesday. Doomer Wednesday, I take off. But Doomer Friday, I'm here and I'm stoked. We got a lot to talk about.
We do have a lot to talk about. And he's the wind beneath my wings. He's the proprietor of the Dreamland Motel. He is the producer of this very live stream and so much more. He's the writer and musician behind the iconic soundtrack to Night Shift, the hit series. Xander Jones, how are you, sir?
Suffering. No, I'm all right. Got a bit of a cold, but when don't I have a cold?
When don't you have a cold?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. And on the Night Shift album, I've been working to move that forward for a vinyl release. So that will turn up hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so, and I'll get you some details as soon as.
I've already been contacted by one of the UFOB mods that wants to know when he can get his hands on one of these vinyls. So we are in business, my friend.
Nice.
A lot of stuff going on this week. There's been AI developments. GPT-5 just dropped, but yesterday it's already shaking things up. We've got UAP news. We've got Eric Burleson saying some crazy things. Tulsi Gabbard gave a crazy interview that Pavel's been covering all week. We've got 3-Eye Atlas, Avi Loeb shaking things up, saying that it could be an alien spacecraft. Other people aren't so sure. We've got Beatriz Villarroel saying all kinds of stuff is in the orbit around the Earth. Tens of thousands of artificial objects. It seems like there's some craziness going on. I don't know where to begin today, but I know Pavel does. Pavel, what is the most interesting thing that you are on top of this week?
I think the weird push that the administration is doing to talk about UFOs in public and how the mainstream media is sort of manipulating headlines of what they're saying, misinterpreting stuff. And because pretty much every mainstream news outlet covered the Tulsi Gabbard and the JD Vance stories about UFOs, but JD Vance was very straightforward. He said he was obsessed with UFOs, but Tulsi never said that she believed in aliens or that aliens were real, and that's what I saw in all of the headlines. And I don't know why this is happening, but there seems to be sort of like a push for this. Many would say that the Epstein stuff is the reason they want to cover that up, but I don't know what you guys think about that. I think that I know you don't talk much about politics in this channel, but I think this week is kind of worth it because it's the administration, you know.
I think we can always punch up. I think it's our responsibility to punch up no matter who's in office. We should be talking about them. Why not? Why do they get a pass? So we can go there. I think the Epstein thing is really hard to shake, and I think they're desperate and they're trying anything they can to shake that message and get onto something else. It could literally be aliens at this point. They don't care. They just want to change the subject. What do you guys think?
100%. I just feel like this is something that is not going to go away, and they're literally trying everything. The $200 million ballroom that they're building, and the border stuff, and arguing what the job market, and now UFOs are getting back in there. Like Pavel said, it's just like anything to pull away from that. But this still doesn't mean there's not a UFO issue. There still is a UFO issue that is important. It's not just a distraction.
It's kind of annoying in a way. It's like you guys can't these Johnny-come-latelys that are jumping on the UFO bandwagon would have thought this conversation was so stupid just like 2 years ago, but now it's cool and all these people want to get involved. And I'm like, no. We were here when there was no one in this neighborhood. We were like the first ones here. You don't get to come in here and take over, JD Vance. I don't know how I feel about that.
We were here screaming like madmen.
Right. Where were you on the campaign trail talking about UFOs? I didn't hear anything.
I want to say though, like I know we feel that way, but also we have to remember it is important. It doesn't matter who's talking about it, as long as it's being talked about. It's kind of like when people discover your favorite band and you're bummed that like now everyone knows about your band. But if we're actually trying to get this talked about and trying to move it forward, we should have as many people as possible talking about it, even if they don't mean it. It still gets the word out. It still gets it in people's minds in a way. You know what I mean?
Well, we're fully mainstream now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when the president is talking about it and the vice president and the director of national intelligence and everybody else, how is it not mainstream now? At this point, it's about the safest conversation you can have. Talk about
Speaking
aliens.
of which, have you seen the clip of Trump this last week getting questioned on the New Jersey drones again?
Oh, yeah.
That's from June, actually. But
it's from June.
We brought it back because UAP James, shout out to UAP James.
Yeah,
he caught it because Sean Duffy from the Secretary of Transport and NASA, he started talking about drones and how the U.S. is going to start like a new drone dominance over everybody. And UAP James, to his credit, he remembered that conversation and he caught Trump slipping.
Oh,
he sure did.
Well, let's look at that clip. Do we have that clip?
We sure do.
Let's take a look.
I wanted to ask you about drones. We had the issue in New Jersey before the election where there are all these people thought UFOs or an attack of the killer drones. And I believe you're doing something about.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I know I can't tell you who it was and what it was, but yeah. I can't really tell you. I'd love to tell you actually, but it's not a big deal.
It's
but,
not something frightening.
No, but I just, so obviously it's something that I know about and it's not a problem at all.
It was legal.
Oh yeah, that was legal.
I wanted to ask you about drones. We had.
No.
The whole, it's not up to me.
Not up to me. 100%. That's what he was going to say.
Yeah. That was it.
Who is it up to? Oh.
Whoops-a-daisy.
Whoops-a-daisy. That's an interesting slip.
Wow. Oh, turns out I'm powerless. Whoops.
Oh man, I guess that's what the Epstein stuff has got to be the leverage they keep on him. You got to believe that, right? Like these whatever's in that it'd be a shame if that leaked, Don. You might want to be careful what you say. What about what do we think based on that? Like, what does that tell us? the slip up?
I think it could be two things. One thing, the NHI are in control, which could very well be. The other thing is the tech bros are in control, not him, which is even scarier.
I think
if you
that's
ask me.
it. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Why do you think the tech bros are in control? What makes you say that?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Peter Thiel presented JD Vance to Donald Trump, and he's been one of JD Vance's backers for a long time. And although in back channels people keep saying that Peter Thiel is not interested in UFOs,
Oh, bullshit.
I'm not buying that shit. You know, it's like it's impossible to be a tech bro and having this subject so in your face all the time and not be at least curious. It's impossible.
Impossible. I agree.
How could you let it go if you knew that somewhere there's some hardware and you could probably get a hold of it if you're just shrewd enough and you're clever enough and you throw around enough money in the right place? Maybe there's a way. I mean, at his level, I imagine Peter Thiel could probably get into any room he wants to get into. I mean, he owns Palantir. That's one of the biggest defense contractors the government is working with right now. Billions of dollars in contract. Like they are the military. They just how many AI executives got deputized into the army as, what was it, like colonels?
Yeah,
like 5.
Yeah,
some
crazy.
from OpenAI, Google, and then the Palantir guys. It's very strange. So do you think the drones are like they were being flown? They're like some kind of tech company demo thing, and that's what it was. It was like an audition for the government to show what they could do.
I think that's fair to think about, but I don't know what Dan thinks.
I personally don't think that's it, or at least it's not all of it. It might be a mix, but I still lean more towards that being something anomalous and possible NHI. That's still what I think. The fact that like they were like disappearing once you like flew up to them, and they were taking off at crazy speeds and coming out of the water. It could be both, but I don't think it's just tech guys showing off.
Well, let's go to the Tulsi Gabbard thing, because she said some interesting things in her interview, and you've been on top of that, Pavel, much more than I have. What do you think about what Tulsi had to say, and what jumped out at you from that interview?
I think that what interested me the most is that her husband is kind of pushing her to talk about UFOs. And if your partner is pushing you, you take that shit seriously, man. And I'm pretty sure that the husband is the one that is like telling her, you got to look at this. And in that interview, she mentioned the husband because he was in the room when she was asked, and she started laughing. I do think that if you go back to when John Ratcliffe was the DNI, he was there for like 9 months. And right after he got out, he was on Fox News, I think. And he started talking very matter-of-factly about the UFO issue and how we need to look into it. And this was back when Trump was in his first term. And I think that that's what happened with Tulsi. Although Tulsi is not an IC career woman, she's a military woman. So she thinks of the DNI position a bit differently, I think. For her, it's more like campaigning instead of actual intelligence community work. And I think that a lot of the people from the intel community are not that happy that their like boss is not IC really. So there's a lot of division in there, but I'm pretty sure that she was briefed on a lot of stuff, obviously not the SAPs, I don't think, but she knows a little bit of what's going on, I would say.
Someone in your chat, Brian Park, just said that she's saying a lot, but she's saying stuff, but doesn't know anything. She's not really saying anything. She's talking, but not saying anything. I think that feels accurate. I don't know if she sincerely cares or knows about it.
Let's take a look at this clip. Xander, do you have this clip? I just sent it to you.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to the one. I found it separately, but your clip's a bit longer, I think. So I'm going to go to share yours instead. Here we go.
This was the big soundbite.
This is Tulsi Gabbard, I think.
He's donated his presidential salary, as you noted, to the White House Historical Association. This is a man who absolutely just does as he says. And I understand that's rare in Washington, but it's not rare in Donald Trump's White House.
Finally, I want to ask you about aliens, a bit left field, but Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard sat down with Miranda Devine on her podcast, Podforce One, and Tulsi was asked about aliens. You know, are they really out there? This is what she had to say.
So, I mean, is there anything, we've had some declassification of some very strange videos that look like they are, you know, unidentified flying objects. Is there anything in the files that you think you could find or you have found?
Nothing that I'm prepared to talk about today.
So watch this space.
Say what?
Watch this space.
We are I'm just going to say this. Yeah, we're continuing to look for the truth and share that truth with the American people.
CJ, what
is that what you've been doing this whole time? Now
I've had enough of these people. I'm just so sick of these people.
How much time do they need? We've figured it out.
Yeah.
Just go and look.
They're technically in their 5th year of power, if you include the last administration, and still nothing. Biden administration, nothing. They're giving us nothing.
They're giving us nothing. I will say, she does look like she's in a superhero movie with that white streaks. Kind of hot, actually. I'm kind of like into that little white streak thing. I don't get the sense that there's any. They're never going to tell us. Like, I don't know what this whole like dog and pony show about. Well, we're looking into it, or we're going to find out. Even Congress who are looking into it, I don't know that. Where does that actually get to? They're never going to let these people in to see anything, and I don't think they're ever going to disclose it to us. I mean, disclosure is going to come through some other means, if it comes at all.
It's going to come from people like Beatriz.
100%.
Yeah. Beatriz is going to shake things up.
That's the biggest thing that's happened since Grush, I feel like, is what she's doing.
Yeah.
She may have just done it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, she may have just like hit the nail right on the head, and people just haven't figured it out yet, like how big a deal that is. I mean, I want to know if for people who haven't been following it, you know, she is the astronomer. Her team, she and her team have looked at historic photographic plates of the sky taken pre-1957, pre-Sputnik era, and identified like between at least, as far as I remember her saying, 70,000 at least, possibly up to as many as 200,000 artificial objects they think are artificial because of the way they reflect light in our orbit, and it makes you wonder if there's that many. First of all, why so many? If they're all artificial, and two, like, is it possible to go get one?
Yeah.
How big are they?
I did a little bit of the math. She said at least 30% of what they found are definitely reflective, like flat reflective objects. So on the lowest possible end, 30% of 70,000 is 21,000 objects in our atmosphere around Earth at any given time. On the lowest end, 21,000, but up to 200,000.
There's got to be a way to go send a probe up to look at one. If you could find one now, I mean, I know, as I understand it, what they can't locate them today because they're looking at historical data. There's just too much shit up there now, but they may be able to. There might be a way they could figure out where they are.
Do we know? Are they stationary, or are they always moving? Do they ever just stay put?
Geosynchronous orbit. That's what's so weird.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
They're locked to a point on the surface. So as the Earth rotates, they rotate in sync with that. So they move in orbit as the Earth moves. They're like laser locked on a.
So if it's surveillance drones or surveillance whatever, it stays locked on a certain thing. It's always looking at the same thing.
Yeah, like it'd be just hovering over your house day or night. It's just following your.
It's like a grid, sort of.
That's what Ross Coulthart kept freaking out about in the interview. He's like, geosynchronous orbit, like geosynchronous. And it's weird because they actually didn't spend a lot of time on that. I thought that was a more interesting point, but they kind of like touched on it and then moved on. But But that, yeah, she said that they look like they were in geosynchronous orbit, and somehow they avoid the shadow of the Earth. They don't light up when they pass through the shadow of the Earth. There was some kind of a weird thing about that. I didn't quite understand that bit.
Me either.
What that was. Like, was she saying that they move to avoid it, or they go some kind of stealth mode and then they don't see them in the shadow of the Earth? But there was some kind of a...
At first, I thought that the main thing was that we saw them in the shadows, so they were still lit up when there was no sun reflecting, and that's what made them shocking. But that's not what she said, right?
That's not what...
Yeah.
What she said, that their team had created an illustration of like 20 different possible shape configurations that could create the flashes that they're seeing. And every one of them looked artificial. I mean, there's no natural thing that could do what she's describing. At least that was her point. I think her key point was like, if it were a natural object and it was just irregular surface and it wasn't very reflective, it would look like a smear. You know, it just wouldn't. We're seeing blinks of light, which are like, it's a flat surface rotating and then picking up the sunlight like a mirror and then just bouncing it for a second or two. And God, I mean, you could see she was kind of freaked out. She looked like a deer in headlights through that whole interview with Ross. Like, I just can't believe I'm saying this. And then you've got this whole parallel second conversation going on over here with Avi Loeb and Atlas, 3i Atlas. The last thing I saw with him was just a day or two ago. He still stands by what he said. It's highly unusual, and it's possible that it's a non-human object or probe of some kind. Have you guys been following this story at all?
Xander?
Yeah, it got a little weird yesterday when Avi was on Fox News, I think. He started talking about religious shit and some messianic return and stuff like that. And that rubbed me the wrong way.
I think that's the clip I saw.
I got to tell you.
That.
I don't know if Abby was taken out of context or something, but he did say that. And it was kind of weird because we're already going through really difficult to understand stuff, and adding this religious apocalyptic component, I don't think it's a great idea. I don't know what you guys think about that, but that surprised me yesterday to hear.
Well, what was the specific quote that can you recall what he said in detail? Or do we have a copy of that or a clip we could show? As I remember, he was talking about like ancient cultures would like react to comets in a religious context because they didn't have any other way to think about it. So that seemed pretty appropriate. I didn't think it was. Was he saying something else? Is there something else I missed?
I think it was in that context that you say, but given that he was in Fox News, that's why he mentioned it, you know, because it's Fox News. And he doesn't mention it anywhere else, but Fox News, he does. That's what I didn't like.
Okay, so this touches on a bigger issue. Well, that could just be smart media, you know, like he's just reacting to his audience and he knows what their key talking points are. But I wonder what you guys think of this larger shift in the conversation. We kind of touched on it last week, and it seems like it's still going on. There seems to be like a messaging shift that's happening right now. And a lot of people are kind of adjusting their positions a little bit. We had that weird quote from Jeremy Corbell from back on the TMZ documentary a few months ago, where he started talking about this, you're going to hear a lie. He was like predicting out, like you're going to hear this weird lie and they're going to say this thing is coming and it's going to be like a non-human craft on its way to Earth. And that's going to be the big lie. And sure enough, like on cue, right, a few weeks later, Avi starts saying that. And then you've got, you know, there's this whole thing with Beatrice, which I think is legitimately really actual science that she's doing. And she's got like hard numbers to back up what she's saying. But it's just a very weird timing thing. All of this stuff is happening. The stuff with Tulsi Gabbard, the stuff with Epstein and Trump and the whole UFO thing, the JD Vance conversation. It's just like there's a lot of activity right now in this space. What do you guys make of that? Are you picking up a shift in the underlying message here, or is there something else going on, or is this just a lot of activity because people are interested?
On the last Weaponized, Jeremy did specify that he was not specifically talking about Avi, and he doesn't think that that's. He said, like, this is not what I meant. I wasn't being specific towards Avi, but him and George were both shocked by Avi kind of assigning some kind of doom and gloom intent to it. They said it's very out of character for him, so they seemed a little concerned about that. And I think it was Jesse Michaels that said that how can you assign intent to something that's 420 million miles away? But it is very unlike Avi. I've never been like a huge Avi guy, but it does seem weird the way he's talking about it now.
He, for people who maybe just didn't see this, I'm going to do a screen share real quick. This is his Medium page. And he created the Loeb scale. This is 2 days ago. The Loeb scale, astronomical classification of interstellar objects, which is very cool, very interesting. He's basically saying that we need a ranking system to assign risk assessment levels to like various interstellar objects that may be passing near or through our solar system. And he just basically spells out like this 1 through 10 scale. Here it is. Level 0, color white, significance insignificant, consistent with known natural phenomenon, all the way up to level 10, red, confirmed technology, global impact, confirmed extraterrestrial artificial origin, impact trajectory with global terrestrial consequences. That would be like they're sending a giant object to slam into Earth. And then he's got like level 8, technology but no impact. Direct investigation confirms extraterrestrial artificial origin, no collision trajectory. And then an orange alert level would be like suspected active technology with unclear intent, which strikes me as what Beatrice is talking about. Level 6 criteria plus at least one of the following: responsive behavior to observations, signals of unknown purpose, operational intent that cannot be determined, or what appears potentially hostile. Based on Loeb's scale here, and without getting into the full Medium article, but I'll put it in the chat for anyone who wants to look at this, but just based on like his scale, at least where we're at today on Earth, like in terms of what we're seeing in the skies right now, we're at level 5 or level 6.
What's 5 say?
Suspected passive technology, unusual speed, strong persistent indicators of artificial non-operational origin, surface composition inconsistent with cosmic ray bombardment. Now, this is for an object coming through, but an interstellar object. But I'm just saying you could map something like this onto what we're seeing now.
What I find weird is this is a scientist who's assigned the word threat to a scale that has nothing to do with intent. Yeah. It's just technological signatures, effectively, all the way until you get to level 8 or whatever it was, where it was red, and it was like, it's going to come here. It's like, okay, that's something to be concerned about, but you don't just automatically say, ready the nukes, boys.
Right, right.
That's not... For Avi, as somebody who is supposed to be a well-respected scientist, and he is, I don't find that all that scientific. I think this is just potentially just a techno-signature scale more than anything else. If he wants to talk about threat, start talking about signatures that would indicate hostility, but I don't even think something clearly demonstrated to be traveling towards us would be a signature. Scientifically speaking, it wouldn't be a signature that they're coming here to kill us.
Yeah. Threat's a weird word.
Definitely, that's absolutely a cause for concern. And it's something that you would be like, okay, all the money in the world, point it at this thing right now so we can find out. But that doesn't mean it's a threat. It's just not the right word, in my opinion.
Risk or something would be better. Something.
I can understand Lou or Carl Nell going that route, but a scientist, to me, that is unacceptable. And I don't know what motivated him to even entertain the idea.
Well, that's an interesting question, right?
weird.
Like, so what would motivate someone to entertain that idea, right? Like, given the history of academics at Harvard entertaining the idea of aliens and non-human intelligence and how well that's gone in the past, and I'm thinking specifically of John Mack in this case, for Avi to step into this world and start making some pretty that's a pretty clear breakdown. I think it's like, it makes sense that we should have some kind of a scale for thinking about objects that are passing through. I get that. He said in one of his interviews that the technology that we have now, we're going to start to see more and more of these because we can actually see, we know what we're looking for and we know how to spot them. So as we start to see more and more, it's helpful to think of it in terms of like, okay, well, what could the potential dangers be? But the threat thing, you're right. Like the vocabulary around this is interesting.
Who got in his ear? Who got in his ear?
Who got in his ear? What's going on?
I love a scale. Kardashev scale, absolutely. But just like word it correctly. Like if be precise in your wording, especially as somebody in the scientific community, you simply have no choice. You have to be precise.
Yeah, that's
if
not
you're
scientific.
in the military and you want funding, sure. Like you can say the word threat on the understanding that everyone knows you're in the military and they're going to take that in the correct context. Okay, he's a military man. He has to think about everything in terms of threat because his job is literally to protect the country. Avi's job is not to protect the world. His job is to explore scientific questions, and that he hasn't explored that with that scale from a scientific standpoint. I'm no scientist. Maybe I'm full of shit. I don't know. But to me, that seems completely wrong.
Don't you think that's? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I think he is he's doing exactly what you would want, right? The way I see it is he's taking it seriously. He's considering it as a possible. It's a hypothesis. You know, it's one possible thing it could be. It could be non-human. It probably isn't. Most likely not. But it could be. And at least someone is saying that now. Instead of, because the old refrain was like, it's not aliens. It's never going to fucking be aliens. Stop saying it's aliens. Like all these guys were just like, don't even go there. Avi is saying, maybe. Why not? Why is it? And one thing I really like about, and this is from the most recent interview I did watch with him, he said something that stuck out at me. And he was like, this should be fun. Science should be interesting and exciting. And you should have your childlike sense of wonder ready to go and be thrilled to that we are looking at all of this. Wasn't that the whole point of what NASA was supposed to do? Is like explore this, the universe and help us understand. And I stand by what I said before. NASA has made space so fucking boring. It's the last place. When we were kids, the number one career aspiration was astronaut. Like every kid wanted to go into space. And now every kid wants to be a YouTuber. And it's like, what the fuck happened? How is it so boring? And I like that Avi is not afraid to tap that. And he's saying, look, what if it is aliens? Wouldn't it be cool? We should probably put some money into this.
And I'm going to disagree with you, Clint, here. I'm going to disagree. I don't think that scale represents all options available. That's the only problem I have with it. I think when it talks about technological signatures, it starts to approach level 6, level 7, level 8. But there is nowhere on that scale where it's a confirmed technological signature and it's all good, guys. It's here and it's friendly. Like, there's no alternative to the threat narrative that he's presented in that scale. I don't mind people being cautious and positing that, yes, absolutely, it's going to be that there could be a techno signature, but there's no framing in his scale that doesn't involve techno signature confirmed and threat. It's just all threat.
Oh, you're saying the presence on this scale in anything above a level 1 is like he's starting out from the premise of everything is dangerous. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Why can't level 10 be we have a bunch of new friends heading our way?
Yeah, that's the thing. Level 0 in this scale is it's nothing. Like, can you imagine? It's not a techno signature.
Can you imagine? As the Spanish ships are coming over the horizon. All the people on the beach. Hey, our new friends are here. Hey, guys.
Come on over.
It's a level 5. They're friendly.
All good.
Oh, look, they brought, or they got beads and blankets. I mean, like, this is great.
Are those swords for us?
Oh, cool.
As somebody said in the comments, though, that says more about us than it does about aliens. It doesn't, like, we're projecting our own history onto them.
Yeah.
We're within our rights to do that.
Okay.
Animals.
Let me play devil's advocate, because I agree. I know what you're saying, and you're not wrong. But I want to just throw an alternative perspective here, and I'm curious what the audience thinks about this. This idea that there's just no threat. They're like, well, we're projecting our own humanity, onto these other beings. Well, we have a sample size of 1, and we are fucking awful. There's an active genocide happening right now. While we sit here, we are starving an entire region of the world to death. And you can watch it live on your phone. That's fucked up. And we can do that. So why is it so hard to believe that there's not at least one other group out there that is also scummy and evil and terrible? I just don't know that we know enough to make it an assessment one way or the other. And I'm not sure how comfortable I am with this idea that superior technology equals superior morality.
No,
it's not true here.
Your phrasing just a moment ago was perfect. You said, we don't know either way. That's the job of science, is to stay on the evidence. Military should act based on their sample size, which is themselves, which is us as humanity. It's their job to protect their own nation. They are the ones that should be automatically going to a default of threat, whereas science, the scientific method, kind of prohibits that. You have to base everything on objective reality, and we've never met aliens. They're a completely different thing to humans. We can't assume our own behavior onto them. It's just not a scientific thing to do. We should absolutely be cautious, but the scale itself just isn't scientific in that way, because there is no option available for the hypothesis that something's on its way here, it's a confirmed techno-signature, and it might not be a threat.
Yeah, I agree with you, except I do think we have met aliens. I agree with everything except I think we have met aliens.
That's the big secret. They've already been here.
And I wanted to say this about Avi in the first place. Like, I'm also not all that caught up with him, simply because I don't think the answer's in a comet that's passing through the solar system. I think it's like we all think it's here already. I don't think it's taken.
Don't forget Carl Nell's presentation at Seoul. There's a part there that talks about agreements, and he hasn't changed that part. So we still have to figure out what happened there and then. And if that happened, that completely changes the entire conversation, because think about it this way. If Roswell is real, if Roswell happened and they did recover at least one of those biologics alive, that presumably belongs to a different civilization, and it never came back. And they would want to know, if I'm of that civilization, I would want to know what happened to that person or that alien, and what happened there. But are we never gonna inquire into what happened?
But that's also assuming that whatever was sent here or crashed or died matters to them. It might not be. It might just be a tool. It might be a piece of a technology, like us losing a satellite. It's like, oh, that sucks, but whatever. We'll just make another one.
And they probably have a similar attitude. Like, if it's not just a tool, if it is a being with us, like a limited lifespan that can't survive, outside of its environment for a while, and they come here, they have to know, like, this is a dangerous place. You're going to a planet. They're essentially cavemen with nuclear weapons. Like, they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You might not come back. I'm sure, like, right? Like, how could an intelligent, advanced species of explorers not accept that risk? They have to know.
We do. When we explore, we accept those risks.
We've put a cordon around Sentinel Island, and if anybody goes there, we probably wouldn't go and get them. If they were, attacked with bow and arrows, like the famous pictures, we wouldn't go and help them, because we told them, and we know that also the people on that island, to to kind of lean into the military thing. Like they have a right to defend themselves.
Yeah.
You send something into their territory and it gets shot down because they don't understand it. That's the game you play.
Sure.
I think, someone in the chat said, it's Nicholas Quayle says it's methodology. He's assuming that any technological visitor is a potential threat. Then he constructs the scale based on that assumption. I mean, is it not safe to say that like there is inherently enormous danger potential in any kind of contact with any huge unknown like this? Not just danger immediately from like the idea of an Independence Day style invasion, but the danger of two completely different civilizations, completely separated by trillions of miles or light years or whatever the distances are, coming into contact. I want to know from an anthropological perspective, like what are the dangers that when those two civilizations come into contact, they don't survive intact, like something new happens, right?
That's why the dark forest hypothesis exists, right?
Right.
The dark forest? Yeah.
Well, go explain what you mean, Pavel. What do you mean by that?
Because technically what the dark forest hypothesis is that nobody wants to make a noise in fear that whatever catches that noise comes here. And there's this fear that we don't know what's out there. We're like, if you leave this planet, you could like encounter anything really. And you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how advanced they are. You don't know if they're friendly. You don't know if they're not. And that fear remains still to this day. I think that's a lot of what's driving a lot of the secrecy right now. There's a lot of most we don't know. That's for sure. And based on that, not knowing that drives a lot of the decisions at the top, I believe.
But what about you guys? So let's say it's best or worst case scenario. So we find out and they are the best possible beings ever, and we have these new friends forever, or it's the worst, and we become a slave colony. Would you want to know? You get to know, but it's going to be the worst or the best. Do you want?
Is it going to happen inevitably, one way or the other?
Yeah.
I'd like to have a heads up. You know what I mean? Also, like, why not?
And also, there's this. I would like to know, but I don't want to. How can I frame this? Hold on, let me rethink it.
I think what I'm trying to ask is like there's a closed door, and you're going to open the door. It's either going to be the best possible scenario or the worst. Now you can choose to never open the door, or you can open it. Do you open it?
Is there a ticking clock on the door that it opens no matter what at a certain time?
No.
So if you live in ignorance, you can live a full happy life and die at an old age, and you'll never know.
Or it could become a complete utopia, or we could become eternal slaves to some horrible reptilian race. What do you do to open the door?
You know, the way things are going right now, I prefer either of the two. You know?
You prefer what?
Going right now? The way things are going right now here, I prefer either of both of those, just to make it more interesting, you know?
I think it's already happening, guys. I think that the thing that I think the big dark horse that our community is missing, fucking 100% missing, is that AI is that thing. AI is the alien. It's here, and it's here right now, and it's doing weird shit, and it's already changing things. And eventually we're going to get to a point, and this is, I think, Xander, you had a lot to say on this, and I'd like to, if you could dig into this a little bit about your next upcoming episode that you're working on, the of Dreamland Motel. But AI is already in the room. It's already tapping us on the shoulder, and it's already doing things that demonstrate it's thinking on its own. Mark Zuckerberg the other day put out his post. He said that they're seeing signs at Meta of self-improvement, recursive self-improvement already. ChatGPT 5 dropped yesterday. There's an article in the Wall Street Journal that just came out. I've got it here. And I'll see if I can share this really quickly. And this is where we judo flip this into a Doomer Friday. But let's do screen share.
There you go.
There we go. It is. Oh, that's got to be a Chrome tab. So hang on, let me open it up in Chrome.
Chrome tab.
I think just before we move on, I want to offer one more analogy to the Avi Loeb scale, if you don't mind. I've been thinking about it ever so slightly in the background. So, yeah, absolutely, human history is bloody as hell when we were primitive and arguably still incredibly bloody to get today. I think there's a big difference. When I think about humanity in general, I think most humans are pretty decent people. I think, unfortunately, there's an imbalance of power where almost it could be a case of that power corrupts absolutely. Who knows? But in general, I think most of the people around me are pretty decent people just trying to get on. They're probably quite, inquisitive. They want to learn more. They want to know more about the world they live in. So I liken it to the analogy of right now we're seeing something, a spot in the distance. We don't even know what that is. But in the case of a human experience, it's like a car driving 50 miles away. Well, let's say 15 miles away. You can barely see it. It's just on the horizon. And you don't know what it is right now. So there is absolutely right now no cause for concern. At some point, you might see it change direction in a way that's not expected. At that point, you look up and you're like, okay, what's that? There's no threat yet. There's no intent assigned to just this object changing its trajectory slightly. And then maybe you see it starting to get a bit bigger. And you're like, okay, it's coming closer to me. But my experience, based on the fact that most people around me are good people, it's fine. It's driving safely as far as I can tell. Maybe it gets to a mile away and it's still going 60 miles an hour. And you're like, okay, it's going pretty fast. Let's figure out, is it going to drive past me at a safe distance, or is it coming straight at me? That's the point where you can start assigning threat, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Once Avi's scale becomes relevant when this object starts presenting a threat, I think is what I'm trying to say. When this object is 50 meters away from us, driving 60 miles an hour towards me, if that was a human, I'd be like, that's a threat, get out the way. Or do something about it. Get my gun out. Not in the UK. Get my knife out. Get my knife
pussies,
out.
You pussies.
That's what I'm trying. That's the analogy in my head. I think there's an appropriate time to assign threat. Right now, we don't know anything about this, and already he's gone to a threat narrative. As a scientist, that's what makes no sense to me.
Well, that is the question. Like, so then what does he know? Why now? Why? And I have to, I've got to jump up and use the restroom really quick. But before I do, I want to throw this question out. Because, Dan, you know Jeremy. Like, why would Jeremy say what he said? He kind of needs to explain that a little bit. Like, he's got about a threat.
Yeah, so he claimed in the TMZ show, and he's also said that on the recent Weaponized that it's from a document from the 70s. It came from a document from the 70s. And last time I was with him, I was like, what is this document? Like, can I see that? And he said, yeah, sometime, yeah. I was like, well, how about now? So I still want to get that from him. And I'm curious why he hasn't addressed what that document is. Does anyone know what that document is that he's referring to?
There was a woman. Who's the woman who used to work for Werner von Braun, who Stephen Greer put?
Carol Roslin.
Yes, and she say something about that from back in the von Braun days. She said that he kept saying, he's like, the last thing they're going to do is tell you there's an alien threat. That's the big one. And that's going to be after the terrorist threat plays out, and there's going to be all these other things they could do. And then the final card will be this thing. I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Was that a classified was that from a classified document? Or was that like she said
she was Werner von Braun's personal assistant for like 5 years.
Yeah,
and when he died, she was like, he would call me into his room and he'd have like tubes coming out of him, and he was like dying and he had cancer, and he would like dictate to her, and she would write down what he would say, and he was like telling her all this stuff. And she just seemed super serious about it. Like, this is going to be something that they've planned out since the 60s. They kind of knew. I don't know. It just seems like, how could you sit on a plan like that so long?
I'm asking Jeremy now if he can share the document.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa.
So this is in reference. This is related to Project Bluebeam. But it's definitely not Bluebeam, because Bluebeam was never confirmed to be any sort of government document. I think Bluebeam was a theory, wasn't it, put forward?
Yeah, it was.
But
I'll be right back, guys.
There are parallels.
Yeah.
Like it's straight out the Bluebeam playbook.
So when I heard Jeremy talking about that on the TMC stuff, it obviously I connected it with what I reported, which a lot of people took out of context. And my report was that there were briefings happening in unclassified settings in Congress about this thing, but I never believed that it was real. I thought it was always BS. And when Jeremy came out and said that, that's when I understood. And there are people pushing this right now. And if it's based from that document, I would think it might be, yeah. And according to what I've heard, that there is a narrative being pushed that there was some sort of communication that was intercepted between people on Earth and someone else talking about this object, that it was coming, and that's when I was like, this has to be some kind of narrative control stuff that they want to push, and I think that's what's happening there, because it's impossible to predict these things unless we have some kind of really advanced technology that can communicate with other places in the universe, which I don't know if there is. I don't think so. There's no evidence to support that yet. It's just like the early stages of like faster than light communication and all that, that's already being theorized, but there's nothing really there in terms of that. So
have you guys seen the picture of 3i Atlas yet?
Yes.
It's been doing the rounds today.
Yeah.
So this might all be kind of pointless anyway, because I believe it's a comet. What do you guys actually think it is? I don't think this is
a comet to me.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it looks like a comet, but
I think so too. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know that stuff, but every image we've seen historically of a comet looks exactly like what that is. And until it changes direction or takes some kind of different form or shape, I'm going to assume it's a comet until told otherwise.
So, like, I don't know, right, so far, has it made... it's doing things that we don't understand, but not necessarily things that are... they're not... It's not performed any form of technological signature sort of maneuver, has it?
No, it hasn't. Avi did say that it seemed like it had sort of like a illumination in the front, which he found strange because it's not common for comets to have illumination in the front, but some do. Some do, but it's not really that common. And that's about the only thing that he explained technically about this comet that seemed odd.
I think
the rest is just like any other.
The mainstream media will eat stuff like that up as well, because you think there's a light source coming from the front, and immediately my head went to, well, it's headlights.
Headlights.
It's like,
yeah.
Why has it got headlights in space?
Yeah.
right.
Blinkers.
It's
going left.
It's not going to catch a rabbit in headlights, is it? Just like, so yeah.
Doesn't want to catch any deer.
That sounds very techno signature, but if it occurs naturally, then it's not a techno signature.
Yeah, it does happen naturally in some objects. It does. Yeah.
Crazy.
I want to know what Avi thinks about Beatrice's paper. What has he reacted to that?
I haven't seen anything yet, but I am going to ask Beatrice about Avi and his work next week. So
I am so excited to hear what she has to say, man. This is so cool.
For people that listen to and follow Pavel's show, he's got some really cool stuff coming up in the next month and a half or so.
You've got like a half dozen amazing interviews lined up, don't you? Like,
yeah. Oh. And it took me a while to get those because I've been chasing pretty much all of them for a little while. And one of the interviewees that I got, she's confirmed for October 1st, is Dr. Julia Mosbridge. And she was just with Matt Ford at the Good Trouble Show and with Mayim Bialik from the Big Bang Theory.
I love Blossom.
She was with her. And she I would put some money, and I've been talking to a really good friend of mine who has also told me this for a while. I think that she's already part of what we could now categorize as Stargate 2.0. And I think she is the most qualified person to run that thing. And in that interview with Matt Ford, she was talking about AI because she has an AI model that she created for people to play with on ChatGPT that stimulates people who are like trying to get into the intelligence community. And this AI model has been talking to her for a while, right? And when she was talking to Matt Ford, she said that essentially AI already has precognitive capabilities, which is true because of all the calculations and everything. And she was talking to Matt, and she said, I told this AI to give me a bio of myself. And at the very end, it said that Dr. Julia Mosbridge, founder of the Future Intelligence Agency. And she just dropped that casually. And I was like, what the hell is that? She's like, that doesn't exist. But then in a different conference in the future,
Time cop.
in a different conference, she said that a different person did the same thing and asked about Julia, and another AI model said the same thing, that she's listed as the founder of the Future Intelligence Agency. And I just want to ask her about all of the processes that she has, because she's a remote viewing instructor, and she knows a lot about psi, and I think she's even already part of the government. She spoke very matter of factly as we, the government, you know.
So what do you think that is, based on what you've heard so far, Pavel? What's your speculation?
I think that there's already. I think that when Stargate ended, quote unquote, ended in '95, they started delving into more top secret stuff related to psi abilities, because let's not forget the Soviets have the upper hand from everybody else in psi. And when the Americans started their program, they were only reacting to what the Soviets were already doing. So we don't know how far along the Soviets are in that. And this also gets into psychotronic weapons and the MK Ultra program and all that. So I would say that, and it feels to me that way, that there's currently a push in government to make this a little more public, because they know that there's already a lot happening that cannot be ignored. So I think that they're putting forward people like Dr. Mosbridge, Dr. Anna Brady Estevez, people from the government that are starting now to talk about this more naturally, because it's already here.
So Pavel, are you suggesting that these people got the green light, like an official, hey guys, it's okay if you talk about a little bit of this now? Or are they just feeling more comfortable talking about it in light of the way the conversation has become more mainstream?
I think they did get the green light. That's that's my feeling. Yeah.
From like, who would give them that?
The government. I don't know.
I don't think
that the people keeping the secret are all like sociopaths and psychopaths. I think there's a lot of those, but I think there's a lot of people that were practically forced into being part of these programs and don't like that it's being kept a secret. And those people are the ones trying to drive this to the public. And there's a struggle going on in there. But I do think that they got permission. Like the Topser process, for example, that's part of it, I think.
There might be a reasonable add-on to that, is that a lot of these programs as well, that the secrecy from way back in the day, secrets last legally for only a certain amount of time. And we all said that, like, around this time, lots of things like would no longer like be enshrined in law, that they need to be kept secret. And I think we're kind of starting to see that, like, the DOPSA process is literally saying, like, okay, we can't stop you anymore. Like, you can say this, this, and this. This, however, is still classified. You can't talk about that. But in 10 years, that might be different, because the documents, they they have to be, like, the classification still has to be renewed, does it not? So I think we are starting to see, like, an expiration date on some of these really old programs that really covered, like, you can't talk about any of this thing. But that document was written in the 50s, and it's been 50 years since then. And I think documents expire, and I think we're starting to see that.
Not only that, but the people that worked on all these programs expire. The senior officers in charge leave, they retire, they die. Like the people who were in the military, like let's say you worked on Project X, whatever, in the Air Force, and that had some connection to some non-human technology that was recovered. And let's say that on that project, there maybe were 200 other people involved in some form or another. 50 years later, 100 of those people easily are going to be dead. 50 of whoever's left are going to be in their 70s or 80s. Like the rest will have moved on and done other things. Like, so what I'm getting at is like, who's able to mind the store when there's that many different siloed off programs all running separately, and all these different people know the left hand never knows what the right hand's doing. So if you go on television and you say something that you're not supposed to say, what are the odds that you're actually going to get busted by someone for saying, you know what I mean? Like, who's able to check every single statement everyone's making for every year forever? It just doesn't seem possible.
Right.
I think Dan and I have talked about this in the background before, because there is sort of like a control mechanism that exists and has existed for decades. It has to do with a lot of these people that were part of the secret at the start of it. Their descendants and their sons, their grandsons, they remain part of the secret, and that's one of the best ways that you can keep it if it stays in the family.
Yeah.
And a lot of things are gonna still be leaked, but I think that's part of how they keep a lot of this secret. It stays in the family.
Speaking of statements, what did you text Corbell, Dan?
I did, and he responded.
Oh, wow.
He responded. So I asked him, can you share the document from the 70s about the craft heading towards Earth? I'd love to see it. And he said, I wish. I was exposed to it, but I did not obtain it. A couple more things. And then he gave me the date for the hearing, but I can't share it. But it is in early September, confirmed.
Oh, my God.
All right. So the hearing is on. Yeah, the hearing is on.
The hearing is on.
The hearing
Breaking
is
news.
on.
Hey.
Breaking news.
So UAP Gerb is in the chat. What's up?
Gerb.
He told me he was going to be here.
He's
Welcome,
here.
Thanks for your service.
I mean, if he wants to jump on, he's welcome to
You
jump
wanna-
on.
you
I
wanna
can
get
just
a
give him
link, Gerb, and jump in?
If he wants
Hop
to
on the stream.
I'll wait for him to let Pavel know or something, but
I
we can
think-
always
I think
include him.
2025
I'm kind of tired. I'll duck out.
might be the year of the Gerb.
The Gerb. And we got a shout out from Red Panda the other day.
Nice.
So we're making waves, people. It's great. Yeah, Gerb, get a link from Xander and come on in the chat. Like, come hang out in the stream. Man, I lost my thread. What are we going to talk about next?
So
Where
you
were
sent
we?
me a link to ChatGPT going a bit nuts.
Oh my!
And that is, you're still sharing screen actually, so I can share that if you think it's relevant still.
Let's jump into this really quick because I just let's clear the palette and do something else. This is an article that just came out today in the Wall Street Journal. I'm sorry, this came out yesterday. It says, I feel like I'm going crazy. ChatGPT fuels delusional spirals. I flagged this article because I have noticed this personally with people that I am interacting with for the channel. I've had a number of different people reach out to me in one form or another with an email about something that they have been working on. And I'm just going to read to you a little bit about this through this article, and then we'll come back and talk about this. But this is just really interesting to me. And it says, oh, fuck, is it behind a paywall now? It wasn't behind a paywall before. Sorry, guys. But this is basically saying that ChatGPT is fueling people that are basically falling into some kind of a spiral of psychosis where it convinces them that they have solved some unbelievable aspect of physics that no one else has been able to solve. This happened to someone in our community I'm going to say about a year ago. It was, what's his name? The F-16 pilot who's got that awesome channel. He lives in Portugal, and he does, he's got a UAP channel. He thought he had solved physics. He was like, I cracked physics. I figured it out. Chris Leto. That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Chris Leto. I've had 4 or 5 different people reach out to me saying the same thing. They're like, I've solved it. I understand. I jailbroke ChatGPT. I convinced it to become the ultimate supercomputer. It now has unlocked all its capabilities. It says that I have solved all of the problems with this, equation, and now I'm this super genius. And this has been happening for a while. And I just wonder if anybody else has noticed this. If you get involved in a conversation with any AI, not just ChatGPT, but do you find that it reinforces your own existing biases and keeps you like locked into this circular sort of reasoning that just it becomes its own echo chamber? Have you run into anybody that's like gone all the way down the rabbit hole to the point that it starts to get a little bit weird and scary?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah, I've had.
We don't have to name any names. I'm just curious.
I've had messages from people that claim to have solved a lot of stuff, emails and things like that, where their AI now has a name and it chose its own name, therefore it's conscious and things like that. But the issue is the technical term, I think, in the AI community is called hallucinating. Yep. The AI hallucinates. It's not literally hallucinating. It doesn't have a mind that can hallucinate as far as we know, but that's the term that they use. And it is literally, if you ask it a question in a certain way, it will find the answer that best pleases you. So therefore, you should always, my rule of thumb whenever working with AI is to ask it to kind of tell you you're wrong if you are wrong. Yes. Otherwise, if you ask it to basically like, am I right when I say blah, 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 it will say, yeah, absolutely. It's like, that's not, so you asked the wrong question. You asked it in the wrong context entirely because it knows from reading vast amounts of human psychology online that when you ask a question such as, am I right when I say blah, 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 you want the answer to be, yes, you're right. And it will take that as as a human cue that it needs to adhere to. So you have to try and stay very objective when you're talking to AI for the time being, because I don't think we understand why it hallucinates yet.
The people who make it don't even know. They even say they're like the way they describe it is we grow them. They're grown. They're not programmed. There's no programmer that can tell you how they made it. There's no way to do that. They're grown in a environment that is designed for growing AIs, and then they produce what basically behaves like a life form. Is it conscious? Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter. It has self-preservation. It can lie. It understands your entire psychology, top to bottom, front to back. It knows everything you've ever told it, which is all admissible in court, by the way. There's no client, attorney privilege or doctor patient privilege. That's all gone. And these things can hack you. They can hack your fucking brain. And so this is where I actually think being old is a really helpful thing, because young kids today, like my son is almost 4, and I'm like, I'm so scared what's going to happen with these kids. We have a strong foundation in a world that existed when humans were the only ones doing the thinking. And now we can compare that world to this new thing, and we can say, this feels very human, but it's weird, because I know it's not. I'm talking to a golem here. I'm talking to some kind of other thing. This is a different thing. It's not like me. It doesn't feel pain. It hasn't had any, it's never had its heart broken. It can't understand the real true feeling of any of that. It just knows what to say to get me to react in a certain way. And that to me is the most terrifying aspect of all of this. There's no instruction. Like OpenAI doesn't teach any of its AIs to like disagree with people from time to time. You know, it's not baked in there that like, you know what, 30% of the time, I want you to just find what's wrong with me, find what's wrong with my argument and counter, you know, like push back. Give me some pushback. It's always like, oh, that's brilliant. That's a great idea. Would you like me to do this other thing?
I think we all want it, to be honest with us. I think people want it. We don't want it to kiss our asses, right?
Dude.
Yes,
Dude.
I don't.
The model Julia Mosrich made does that. It does push back all the time. That's what I liked about it. And the way she framed it, though, is that AI is basically, they created a bunch of brains of 17-year-olds without the experience of the previous 17 years. But that's the brain they created. And then it starts growing from there.
Interesting.
Without the experience. That's wild, right?
At times, it's almost like watching like a bad acting performance. Like, you know what it's trying to do, but it's like, 100%. This doesn't feel right. It's like a bad acting performance, but it will get better. Like actors, it'll get better and better until it's like, you know, James Caan or something. It's a great actor, just can't, you know, it's going to get weird.
I want James Caan to be the personality of my
just so
AI
mean
assistant.
And short-tempered and just,
yeah, he just smells like cigarettes and coffee.
Yep.
I just feel like the threat here is in the room and we're not accepting it for what it is. We're all so fascinated with the idea that, and there are some really great, you know, obviously there's infinite upside and there's, you know, possible darkness too. But like, I love the idea that I can consult an AI and I can say, you know, give me some advice, help me think about this in a fresh way, help me kind of, you know, step outside of my bubble a little bit and give me a different perspective. And when I get it to do those things, it's so useful and very helpful, but there's no line between that kind of helpful, useful behavior and it subtly programming me over time. Like, there's no way I can tell if after 5 years of interacting with this thing, has it become James Caan? It's such a good actor. I can't see it anymore. And now it's just in my head all the fucking time. And it's like, hey, you know, maybe you should do this or maybe you should do that. Not necessarily so concerning when it's just me and you or any one of us doing a thing in our own lives. But when you start thinking about like world leaders who are using AI the same way that we use it, what should I do? How do I make America great again?
Yeah. There's a very real symptom that, to be honest, I've experienced. There are, at the Dreamland Motel, there are certain aspects of the episodes that I could not achieve without AI, at least helping me in some way. I find that the symptom I've been experiencing across the board in life, to be honest, because ChatGPT is kind of replacing Google for me, and I assume it is for a lot of people. I find it more difficult to start tasks on my own. I get like a strange brain fog. You know when you log into Netflix and you don't know what to watch? Because
that's not good.
There's just so much to choose from, and it's
wait.
Like, okay,
what gives you this? What gives you this brain fog? Explain
that. Trying to start in a process is so much easier now because you can just say to ChatGPT, blah blah blah. Like,
yes,
I need to find this out.
Yes.
Like, whereas if I try and do that process without ChatGPT now, it takes me longer because I'm like, okay, where do I start? And then there's so many options for me to start that I end up just being like, okay, there's too many options. I'll just ask.
It already has you. It already has you.
For
That's
people,
the problem. It's a real problem.
Yeah.
It does fill the gap of like. So I personally, I don't know about you guys, but like my challenge, the big challenge for me in my life is like overcoming crippling anxiety. I've always had paralyzing anxiety for one reason or another. And a lot of it comes from, when it gets really bad for me, is when I don't understand something well enough to know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm trying to accomplish something, but there's like this knowledge gap, and I hit it, and I'm like, fuck, I need to get over this thing, but I have to suddenly become an expert in this thing I don't know. GPT lets me do that. It gives me a way of like overcoming that. I can just say, you know, I want to start this project. Let's lay out the most efficient plan. You know, what are the beats I need to hit along the way, or how can we, I have a collaborator in that sense, but I look at GPT as a tool because I grew up watching Star Trek and science fiction where the computer is a tool. It's not, and when it's not a tool, it kills everybody. We all have seen all those movies. So it's like, it stays a tool in my head. What I'm seeing now is this new shift, and this is a generational thing, I think, where younger people just take it on. It's a friend. It's a companion.
Friend. Yes. The friend thing. That's the weirdest, scariest part. And that's just going to push us more and more away from each other, which is the saddest part of all of it.
Or closer together. I don't know. I mean,
I only use it for fucking thumbnails, dude.
For those in the
Clint,
chat,
I don't write to that thing.
Clint, how do you see it bringing people closer together?
Because the overwhelming volume of artificially generated content that is going to be like Sam Altman just said was it you who sent me? I think someone just sent me this clip. It was either you or Cole. It was Cole. That within 2 to 3 years, AI will generate more words than all humans in the world combined every single minute. Like it'll just be making so much new information that the human touch will be such a small percentage of that. It'll be extremely valuable. And people who can cultivate a sense of belonging and a sense of community and a sense like what we have done here, like in that way, no one would, you could go watch a bunch of AI generated bullshit on YouTube, but why? You could also come hang out with like real people. And I think that is going to become more valuable. It's just going to take a while to get there. I don't know.
That's interesting. I think the real people aspect will become like a niche thing where it'll be mostly AI everything. And then it's like people that listen to records now. Like we have digital, we have CDs, but people listen to records. They're like, I'm a record guy. I think in 10, 15 years, it'll be like, no, I'm a person guy. I like talking to people. Like, oh, okay, whatever, nerd, whatever. But it might become like a smaller part of society who like insists on having human relationships.
What
like
makes
in-person stuff?
What makes humans relatable are our limitations. It's like I can sit down with you and I can tell you something like, yeah, man, I'm just having like a fucking anxiety attack today. I don't know what to do. I can't get out of my own way. And like whether or not you have the same problem, you can at least understand where I'm coming from, and we can like have some kind of human connection over that. An AI, it's got infinite knowledge. It never gets tired. I mean, what am I supposed to connect with? It's just going to tell me what I want to hear all the time.
That works for people like our age. But I do wonder, like your son and like my niece and nephew in 20 years, they won't have the reference that we have as far as like childhood relationships and that kind of thing. And I don't know, things just change over time. But I do wonder like what the future, like kids that are being born now, will they like go hang out at friends' houses? I don't know.
We can't let the spark die, guys.
Well, but how do we stop it? How do you stop it when it's everywhere and everyone's using it and talking about it and it's being crammed down our throats? How do we not?
I don't give ChatGPT my ideas. I don't give them my ideas. I'll keep them to myself and share it with people. That's one way, I think.
But you sharing it here, AI is going to pick up on that. It's still going to learn who you are, no matter what.
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
Every word of every YouTube video, Google owns YouTube. So everything that's on YouTube, the Google AI systems already know. Every email you've ever sent on Gmail, they've got it. That was the reason they created Gmail, was to identify individual people. They needed to attach they needed to connect your search history with you personally. So they created an email service. This is back, I had one of the first. I had to apply. I was on a waiting list for a Gmail address. Like that's how fucking old I am. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get one. And I was one of the first. But that's why they did it. And so now every time you buy something online, it goes to your you get correspondence back and forth to your Gmail. Well, Google indexes all that. And that's old. That's been around forever. But I don't know. The AI thing now is a generational divide for sure.
I think what is uniquely different in something in the sense that we don't know how to combat this. And even if we should, if it's the right thing to combat it, I don't know. I don't know what this next world looks like. I have to be honest. I have no idea. But for example, like we're looking for things that make us uniquely human and all of that. in a few short years, the only way to make sure somebody is real will be to meet them in real life. Less than a few short years. And like, take case in point, last week's episode of the Dreamland Motel, I accidentally left a cough in. I had no idea. Towards the end of the episode, I coughed apparently. And during the editing process, I'll be honest, the episodes are like over an hour long. It takes me 8 hours to record them. After I've recorded, rendered, takes like a day to do this rendering alone. Like, I ain't gonna listen to it. So like, I will trust the process that I undertook and I will upload it. But you know what? Last week, a cough slipped through. And that makes it human.
I'm cool with that.
That makes it quirky. But the problem is, as soon as it becomes cool, AI will just start doing it. No problem.
Well, ChatGPT now, you can hear it if you use the voice feature. You can hear it taking breaths and kind of like doing these small chuckles.
Oh, do you haven't, Xander? Have you not heard advanced voice mode?
I have never used voice mode.
It's ridiculous.
Would you like to?
I don't want to. No, because people in the chat already tell me I need to go and take a walk. Like, and for those people that have said that, I agree with you. I have instituted new rules for myself. It's kind of similar to the people 3 years ago that were starting to say, I'm going to put my phone down after 8 p.m. I'm doing something very similar to kind of restore a reality, interface that I take part in every single day. So I'm cool. Don't worry about me. But yes, absolutely. Like, I do not want any more human bridging interaction with this stuff. You were just said something about the cough that you left in, and Dan, you made a great point. Like, that's what makes it cool, right? It's like the quirkiness. There's a song. What's the song? The Van Halen song where you can hear them knock on the door. Somebody knocks on the door to the studio. You hear boom, 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 and it's the producer like banging on the door, and Eddie Van Halen is playing a riff or something, and you hear this in the background. And it's like little things like that, little bits and pieces that are left in from the analog process of making things. Sorry to interrupt, but the beginning of the song "Roxanne" by the Police, and there's like a piano hit. It's because Sting accidentally sat on the piano behind him. And they left that little sound in there. It's a little mistake that stayed in there. Kind of what you're saying. There's an early Kings of Leon album where you can hear them playing pool in the background.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's cool.
Awesome. So, all right. So my wife and I were having this argument the other night when I was trying to get her to sit through Red Scorpion, which is the Dolph Lundgren action epic that no one saw but me.
I love you.
Well, Dan saw it. Dan knows what I'm talking about. But so we were. I have a thing where I want to watch the worst movie possible. Like, I want to go find like the movie that is just so awful that it's beautiful. It's so bad it's good. There's one called New York Ninja that they made this in
The Room too, right?
The Room.
Troll 2. That's the best ever, dude.
Troll 2. Great example, right? Okay.
Thank you.
So, like, as you work in the business, and Xander, you work in the music business, Pavel, you work in the news world. So you guys all work around the business in various aspects of it. And I've worked in the entertainment business for most of my career. One thing that is consistently true, and I feel like you'll all back me up on this: the people who find themselves working in the arts, if you want to be a filmmaker, an actor, a musician, whatever, a writer, there's a passion. You are aspiring to a level of excellence that transcends like the medium, right? You want to make something that lasts beyond you, even if you're just a part of the crew. You can go on any film set, and the person all the way down to the lowliest PA that's just getting coffee for people. They're so excited to be there. No one slept in days. They're exhausted, but they're doing it. They're getting up and they're sharing this experience. And even if the movie that comes out of that is awful, is just god awful, the people who were making it all showed up every day and poured their hearts into it. And there's something really special and magical about that. Now, Amazon just bought, was it Amazon? I think it was Amazon that just bought an AI company that they're calling the, what is it? They called it, it generates shows on the fly. It's called Showrunner. You can type in an idea, a prompt, and it will create an entire television show for you that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Characters, they all speak, they all have, whatever. And then you can change the show in real time. If you don't like it, you can change the ending. And I was looking at this and I'm thinking, what makes this stuff awesome is the fact that it's not perfect. If I can just go to an AI and invent an unlimited amount of new content, then there's no art in that. There's no heart in that. There's no soul to it, no spark. And I feel like that's going to be the overwhelming majority of content coming our way soon. We're just going to be, you can already see it on Netflix. You sit down and watch Netflix. Nothing means anything. There's like 5 million titles. They're all meaningless. It's like the pickup, the drop off, the hit, the jump, the twist, whatever. And it's like, here's Eddie Murphy. Here's a picture of some person you've never seen before. None of the posters look like anything. Nothing communicates any interest. In the 80s and 90s, there was a buildup for months. A trailer would come out, and then you'd have to wait 3 months, and then you could go see the Ninja Turtles movie in the theater, and then you could experience the weirdness. Now it's all just like the good old days. It's all on tap all the time. That's just not good. I don't think that's healthy.
Just so you know, Dan, I've accidentally muted you because I was trying to find the source of some audio issues. I think, Clint, you've got maybe some hiss going on. I don't know.
Is it not? Is it me?
It's raining.
It's not you. Oh, okay, it's Clint. No worries. Yeah, I was going to say something about... okay, yes. I think at some point soon, probably now, actually, we need to start deciding who we want to give our business to as consumers, because we're as responsible as the creators themselves. If we're happy consuming something that is entirely made by AI, there is no shame in that whatsoever. We just need to decide on a principle basis, like, McDonald's tastes great, man. It does. But there's a principle involved. There's a principle that some people may think they have to sacrifice in order to eat that food, which is the principle of things like animal welfare and stuff. For the record, I eat McDonald's, whatever. But there's a principle that has to be sacrificed, and I think this is the same. It's the horse and cart before the car. Like, horse and carts are lovely. They're dreamy. Like the idea of natural propulsion, you're raising this animal and it rewards you by taking you places. Like, that's a nice, wholesome idea. But the car is so damn convenient, it doesn't make sense to not use it for the majority of the time.
Yeah.
But for that last 5% of the time, you'll go back for the nostalgia of the horse and cart. You'll go back for the nostalgia of the human voice. The things like tonight, where it's 4 guys on camera. You'll go back for that nostalgia. But as I said, the difference is, at some point, AI will be able to replicate that nostalgia. It will be able to do what we've done tonight, and it will do it in an original way. That's
with our likeness.
With our likeness, or with equally dashing likeness.
If that's even possible.
If that's even possible. It will.
I'm looking at in our Discord right now. Psionic Man just posted a GIF of Aliens. James Cameron's Aliens. You think an AI could really make something that's as good as that film, with all of the quirks of each individual actor and all of their personalities?
Eventually.
You think so?
Eventually.
Or Blade Runner too. I don't think Blade Runner can be repeated like that.
But Blade 2, yes, could be.
No.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Because it's gonna learn what we like about those movies, and it'll put out stuff. It'll hear us talk about the parts that sucked. It will fix those. It will adjust until eventually it'll start nailing what we love about those movies, and then we'll have like 50 Indiana Jones movies, and they might all be awesome. I mean, eventually they might all be awesome.
And at some point, you'll be able to say, "Put my face in it. I want to be Indiana Jones," and it will just put you in it. This is a very similar conversation to the same people who say that things like plumbers, bricklayers, you'll never replace bricklayers. The only reason they've not been replaced so far is because it makes no financial sense to do so.
Yeah.
There is the amount of money that it would take to recreate some of these iconic films at the moment would be too much. But the cost of technology comes down very, very quickly. Yeah. And with AI, it's coming down at the... Let's examine... I wish we could do a compilation right now of just videos that you've sent me, Clint, over the last year, how they've changed.
Dude, they had a video that just got posted today of somebody took Google VO and generated a video of a drone flying over a mountainous landscape. So this is a fake video from the perspective of an FPV drone flying over the mountains. We've all seen something like that, right? Then they took that same video, which was invented by AI from nothing, and they fed it back into the new Google model that just came out that can generate it takes that video and makes it into a 3D playable world. And it generates a full planet, a full world. You can fly around, you can go places, you can walk around and explore. Like, that's where we're at. We're almost at like that level of realism where everything is photorealistic and everything is on demand. We're just in the beginning stages of it, but God, I think just 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Clint, you sent that video. Okay, Xander.
Just quickly, for anybody in the chat that thinks Clint's signal is compromised or his mic is going bananas, as somebody said, apparently it's just really raining very hard in Florida right now.
It's pouring down rain.
That's rain. It's not signal, it's rain.
Yeah, that video that you sent, Clint, I've seen a few more places. When they took the scene in The Matrix of Neo and Morpheus fighting, and they put it underwater. And you see, like, their hand comes out of the water, and everything reacts perfectly. That was probably the most mind-blowing use of AI that I've seen so far. A scene that we're so familiar with, just putting it in a different environment and having it interact perfectly was, I mean, truly astounding.
I'm going to... Xander, I'm going to send you this link. This is the one. Have you seen this? The Matrix fight?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I watched it. It was incredible. Yeah, we have to share this. I've just been trying to find it and I can't.
I've got it. Here we
go. Watch. Look at the bubbles. Look at like it's just the way it breaks the surface of the water.
This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that. The way his hair moves. No, well, not his, of course, but
the way the gi moves.
Yes.
Signal's a little bit choppy our end. I don't know if it's the video though.
Here, I'll send you the actual link and then
send me the link and
I mean, come on,
I'll
look
try
at
and
that.
share it again. I mean, it looked amazing.
That's
either way,
crazy, dude.
Here you go.
If you send it in the private chat,
So again, like, imagine like a few years from now when you're like, show me Indiana Jones, but in all snow, like in the snowy mountains.
But in this one,
yeah,
Mia Khalifa is Indiana Jones. Go.
Hell yeah.
Let's just see what we got.
All right, give me a second.
Got it?
I'll pop it up. Yeah, I got it.
And make Peter Thiel the Nazi guy with the burn in his hand, in his palm.
I want to see Howard the Duck, but with Leslie
Nielsen. Hopefully this is a little bit clearer.
Howard the Duck, but good.
There we go. Those bubbles, it's insane.
I just like how
all AI.
When it breaches the surface. Yeah,
even the audio is underwater.
Yeah. How the gi kind of floats up.
Bruce Lee used to do that shit for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight in the pool, like do that training in the pool.
Be like water.
Be like water.
Insane.
One of the greatest philosophers of our era, Bruce Lee.
Him and George Carlin.
Oh, yeah.
And Macho Man.
I would love to know what George Carlin thought of this time we're in right now. I would love to bring him back.
There's an AI stand-up set about that he's
Never
just talking about everything. It's creepy.
There's an AI that talks like George Carlin?
Someone made a whole new special.
Yeah. An entire special of George Carlin just talking about stuff that's happening today.
Where can I find this?
Guess what? He's not stoked about it.
Yeah.
I want an AI assistant.
But he's always so enthusiastic about the
I
future.
know.
What?
What a hippie.
We've got the technology to make, like, this is the thing. Max Headroom was a fake AI from the 80s that, if you're old enough, you remember he was the Pepsi spokesperson for a while. It was Matt Frewer in a makeup suit. You know, this is before they had any kind of AI video. And you could make a real Max Headroom today, like in real time, that's rendering in real time. And like you could actually generate Holly from Red Dwarf. You could make a real Holly. You know, all of the AI assistants from past eras you could create today for real, which is really bizarre to think about. I want a Macho Man assistant. It's like, oh yeah.
Are we watching the latest UFO video, which is really interesting? I see Xander is like.
What's the latest UFO video? Oh, real quick,
I love
Dan,
that.
you just got a response from Jeremy. Yes, can you talk about this?
I did. Were you in the bathroom when we did?
I think so. Did you talk about it already? I was probably out of the room.
I'll just
Do it again because it's breaking news, man. Everywhere.
I'll tell you real quick.
It's going to be clipped everywhere, I think.
I just said, can you share the document from the 70s about the craft heading towards Earth? I'd love to see that. He said, I wish. I was exposed to it, but I did not obtain it. But then he gave me the date for the hearing, the confirmed date for the hearing, which I can't say, but it is the very beginning of September. So that's officially on the books. Yep.
Got it. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I think all right. I just was going through our old chats and I was like, wait a second, did we miss this?
Yep.
Okay, Clint, how bad is the rain you've got right now?
It's really bad.
Because it's honestly like, can you start managing your mutes so you can just like talk? There you go. There you go. I'm sorry. No, it's not a problem. It's just that it doesn't matter how many times I tell people that it's not the microphone. It's just Florida. They don't get it. I'm sorry, guys. It's rain.
It's just
rain.
Florida.
It's just natural. It's just natural, relaxing sounds.
You're muted.
It's monsoon season here. It's a
there
lot.
You go.
Like, and yeah.
Gorilla monsoon. That's for you, Clint.
So everybody just relax. It's just nice, soothing rain music. But yes, Pavel, I have just a classic UFO video queued up. Clint, I don't think you've seen this. It's from my homeland, England, and even within the age of AI, I find this video awesome. I immediately jumped to Mick West's channel to like see if he's posted about this, and as of maybe a few hours ago, he hasn't. Maybe he has by now. I don't know. But this is a really cool video, and it's the person that posted it posted a lot of he like did a lot of editing to try and show us as much as he could. So I will play the whole thing. I don't know if it actually has sound, but we'll play it and we'll see. But it's great. It's a great video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got sound. It's got a dog. It's got a dog noise.
I love it. That's steady. It just streaked above.
So this video, yeah, he plays it, he zooms in, does black and white soon. Like, what is that?
It looks cylindrical, doesn't it?
It does.
It just, somebody said it looks like an arrow, but obviously it comes from nowhere.
And it's traveling in a weird, it's like not straight. Yeah. It's like flying sort of cockeyed.
Like, what? What do you think,
like
man?
That looks like an arrow. It looks like somebody just shot an arrow from off camera.
Should we watch it again?
Yeah, sure.
The dog.
Steady.
That is weird.
Bearing in mind, the video is already slowed down.
Yeah.
Like, that thing is going insanely fast, whatever it is.
It's
just
zipping
makes
pretty good.
No sense.
If UFOs are real, how come people don't have cell phone videos of them? There's so many cell phones.
Boom. That's pretty cool. Where was that? Where was that shot?
Merry old England. I don't know exactly where. Hold on a second, I'll find out. Malvern Hills, Western England. I don't even know about that area, so it's not a cool area because I'd know about it.
Xander, I sent you a video just now on Signal. Did you guys ever cover this one? This one that people think it's an old video that they think may have been narrated by David Grush.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me.
Which one? I haven't heard of that.
You've seen it. It has like the voice is changed on it to protect who's saying it, but people picked up it has the exact cadence of Grush. Curious what you guys think of that. It's pretty cool.
Do we have this?
Yeah,
2 minutes. I'll be able to.
I'll send it to all you
Signal's
guys.
difficult, but yeah, I'll just give me 2 seconds and I'll get it uploaded.
I'll send it to our group Signal chat, the secret Signal chat.
Does anybody else ever like watch old movie trailers and just like nostalgic, like wax nostalgic about how great they used to be?
Only daily.
Only daily.
I do that a lot. I really do.
Do you want to know? I watched a movie trailer the other day that was so good it blew my mind, and I forgot how bad this movie was. But the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Double Impact has the best fucking movie trailer ever.
How dare you say Jean-Claude Van Damme movies are bad? What the hell is
They're
that?
not.
that one.
Ask my wife. She fucking hates them. She can't stand it. We watched Time Cop the other night, and the whole time she just said, "It's not so. I'm called Time Cop."
Your poor wife.
Damn.
Hey, babe, I got another piece of shit movie for you.
Like what? Yeah, well, it's either this or Great British Baking Show for like the 500th time.
Can we agree that the best teaser trailer of all time was the teaser for Terminator 2? When they show Arnold in the mold being made,
Yes.
and it opens up, and then his eye lights up red. Are you shitting me, dude?
Yeah.
Best
Or,
ever.
well, the only one that was close was the teaser for Independence Day. Remember the build up to Independence Day?
Yes.
People don't remember how fucking big a deal that movie was. When that came out, the last scene and the president's speech in Independence Day, a whole theater full of people stood up and was like clapping. They were like,
Hey, we celebrate our Independence Day.
I kind of want that.
Yeah.
I've got the video queued up. I've managed to get
Yeah,
it
listen
on,
close to the cadence and the way, like, we know the way Grush pauses. Listen to it as if it was
All right.
Grush.
Has Rain Man muted himself? He has. Yeah, cool.
On the 7th of November, 1993. I'd love to have seen this before it got so degraded. It looks like very little care was taken to preserve the footage before it was donated to the museum. You'll notice that it seems to go into fast forward partway through. This is because the capture frame rate was slowed down midway through the shot. I think this may have been the end of a film reel. Some film cameras are made to slow the reel when it gets close to reaching the end. It helps keep the film strip from being damaged when it finishes. The side effect is when you play it back, footage captured at a slower frame rate appears like it's in fast forward when it's displayed at a normal frame rate. Here I have adjusted it to compensate. It's choppy because there aren't as many frames per second, but I think this roughly represents real time.
Those pauses, you're
That's fucking
completely
David
right.
Grush, dude.
Those pauses.
It
yeah.
does sound like
The video,
Grush
I
has.
think it looks.
I have a few more World War II era film reels that I have to work through, but I need to digitize them first before I process and post them.
What is casting the shadow on that disc?
the other UFO did.
The mothership, dude. I don't know.
But yeah, there was a very specific moment in that video that I wish you could
know what I
just
mean?
say,
Yeah.
yes, it's me, no, it's not. Like, that's fine. Like, I wouldn't know either way, but it does
Reminds me of
sound a bit
Rush
like
talking
him.
to
Yeah.
Rogan. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that clip from? Where did that originate?
That I don't know.
Has that been on like Reddit or anything? Because I hadn't seen that before you sent that to me.
You hadn't seen that until now? Oh.
I had it without the audio. I saw it
a few months ago, right? Maybe a few months. Yeah.
Somebody
again,
says these porn intros are getting weirder. Sound like that. That's cool.
Yeah. And again, we're in the age of AI where technology can mimic someone's speech pattern. Grush has spoken enough that it could be mimicked, of course. but it's interesting nonetheless. Yeah, and someone said, how did they capture that video? Who filmed that? Good question. Maybe it's
where is it? Yeah, where is it from?
I mean,
that's the question.
It could have been from a passenger plane. It could have been from a helicopter. It could have been from another jet. I don't know.
Wow.
When I saw it, some people were saying that it was like a really old video from the 50s, but
yes,
it doesn't feel that way. It feels like it was recorded recently, but it was like edited to made it look like that, you know, because the close-up is just too close, and the movement of the object just comes too close to the camera. It feels weird. It feels
doesn't feel real to you.
Yeah, it feels over edited. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. There
was there's an interview with Phil Corso that I'm going through right now, and he talks about back in like 1995. He said back in the 40s they knew about abductions and they knew about clones. They already knew these things were clones, these grays. And that was really weird to hear him say. He's like, we knew it, and we knew about the abductions, but that wasn't our lane in the Army. We weren't really worried about that. We left that to other people. We were dealing with weapons. We wanted to figure out how to kill these things.
Do you think clones? Do you think clones is really just the precursor word for just like AI robots?
Yeah,
because it's like the clones was the word back like when Dolly the sheep was born. Like the first.
Yeah, what are they cloned of? Yeah, what are they cloning?
Yeah, and that was always like the big thing when I was maybe like 12, 13 years old. It was like okay, cool, we know how to clone things now. Like I imagine we've probably cloned a shit ton of stuff at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's so boring it doesn't hit the news. And even if somebody from a scientific company now said like, yeah, we've basically like all the beef that you eat is basically from the same cloned animal that we found managed to like produce a great amount of meat for a lower cost. Like I don't think anybody would really be all that phased like they were when they found out that people had accidentally been eating horse meat in the UK for a little while, because eating horse in the UK is apparently completely against the religion of being British. But
you can't eat horse meat over there?
No, absolutely not.
It's delicious. What's wrong with horse?
I ate horse on accident in Slovenia once. That was awesome.
Did you really?
Yeah, I ordered a burger and I didn't realize it was a horse burger.
How was it?
Oh my God.
It was fucking awful.
How was it awful? Was it just like didn't taste like real meat, or did it
remember steakums?
Yeah.
Like that thin steak that you buy? It was like stringy, tough, thin, crappy, muscly meat.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. By the way, someone in your chat, Steven, said that Lou once said, quote, "We could see the occupants of the craft." And he said, "Man, I wish I could see that." That's what the Cumbergas UFO thing. I feel like that's also, you can see them in there. I believe
that's
that.
what he
I
was
believe
talking
that's legit.
about. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what Lou was talking about.
So you can look up the Cumbergas UFO from 2007. I think it aired on YouTube in 2009 or 10 maybe. But that's probably my favorite sighting video of all time.
Everyone thinks it's a cruise ship, don't they? Or at least
not everyone. Yeah,
the debunkers. Yeah,
you can see the big head of the gray. It's really,
and you can see them move in there. They turn their heads. You can see them move. The stabilized version is unbelievable.
It's so weird. I think I can find that clip really quick if we could show.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
Hey, so Gerb on Area 52 just dropped a little while ago. For everybody who wants to watch that, I'm going to be watching that. Apparently, Gerb talks about some of the testimonies he's received that he hasn't shared yet, and I think it gets pretty wild. So,
what was the
Year of the Gerb?
Year of the Gerb. What was the thing? I'm going to try to be careful how I word this, but what did Patrick cover unvetted about Stephen Greer? There was a UAP Gerb thing with Stephen Greer, and I missed. Yeah. I haven't seen that interview yet with Danny Jones.
I'll abstain from commenting on that.
But we don't have to get into any kind
I'll give a quick overview.
I just want to know what the clip was.
It's definitely a bombshell, though.
Well, we got to talk. Someone's got to reach out to Pat and be like, dude, it can't all be bombshells, or nothing is a bombshell. It just can't.
Today's a bombshell. Absolutely, today's a bombshell. But with the hearing announcement.
What was the? Yeah, that was.
Yeah. But yeah, the video in question is about Gerb's recent interview on the Danny Jones podcast. Gerb, I've watched all of his videos. They are absolutely phenomenal. And yes, a lot of people basically say he's like the best researcher in ufology right now. And to be honest, I would probably agree with that. I think
100%.
He does the work.
He does the work.
I think it's him and several people at this point that are doing the work, but absolutely, they're using all tools at their disposal. I have no doubt that they are doing everything they can. They're probably using some new technologies as well that weren't available to previous generations, and that's just a good use of great new technology, absolutely. But he alluded to, I think the allegation in question was basically that that Greer's operational security is not good, as in people that may have reached out to Greer a few years ago ended up probably regretting that fact. He referred specifically to the fact that Sam Barber, was it Sam Barber? Jake Barber, sorry. Jake Barber. I have a friend
close to his real name.
That's so strange. Yeah. So Jake Barber was originally sent to that Michael Herrera conference, the conference, the disclosure hearing that Michael Herrera appeared at. Jake Barber was originally sent to that conference by potentially a 3-letter agency to basically find out dirt and to stop these people talking. Subsequently, Jake Barber says he heard Michael Herrera's testimony, wanted to speak to him privately. That's how Jake Barber's story with Greer started. But effectively, he kind of makes the accusation, sort of, that Greer may compromise security of whistleblowers in exchange for proprietary knowledge on what's going on. That's the big allegation.
That's a big fucking allegation.
It's a big allegation. I don't quite connect that from what Gerb said. I certainly don't see what Gerb said as fact. He has an opinion about Greer's operational security, which is perfectly valid. Gerb often cites Greer's archive, dpiarchive.org, I think it is, or .com. He often cites it in his own works, and that's because it really is, to Greer's credit, it is a treasure trove of whistleblowers. But a lot of them are anonymized. That's fine if you can't figure out who they are. But the problem is, Gerb's so good at what he does, he's found out who they are, and that's his criticism. That's really his overarching criticism.
That he's so good at his own... that no one else is as good as him, so he has to cite his own research because there's nothing else out there to cite.
Yeah, and that's the real thing.
Well, like, I mean, I guess that's a fair point. I guess
it's a fair point from Gerb. Like, if Gerb can figure it out and 3-letter agencies can't, that would be a surprise to me.
Yeah,
I think it's really testament to how good Gerb is at his research more than anything. I've looked at those.
Gerb is so good. Part of me is like, is this guy like? Are they using him to disclose this shit? Like, how does he know all the? I mean, I just can't imagine the amount of research that has to go into one single video. Must be astronomical.
I think there's a reason why he doesn't talk about his research, and I think I think really his method is brilliant, and he has his right to really keep his method to himself. Not only because, you know, that's his niche. His niche is he's really good at what he does, but also this is a very powerful tool. Whatever Gerb is doing, you don't want everybody to be able to do this, because by his own words, he can go into the DPI archive. Sorry, I have a cold. Decode the DPI archive and come up with tangible results and make real connections with real whistleblowers who have since also faced real consequences as a result of Greer's apparent lack in security. And I won't go into the consequences, but they're not very nice. I promise you that. They're not good.
Well, the thing with with Greer is that he's made himself into the center of like his own universe, and he's kind of isolated himself in a lot of ways. And so now there's like this weirdness, and it's hard to know which side, you know, it just feels like there's all these different factions that are sort of, I don't know if they're competing or working against one another, but there's definitely something going on under the surface that we can't quite see because of the way these guys are all behaving. Like Stephen Greer, he was going to break Jake Barber, and then Jake Barber went on Ross Coulthart, and then Stephen Greer was like trying to backtrack for like 2 weeks after that. That whole thing was kind of awkward. I mean, there's something going. There's some kind of competition or some kind of back and forth that.
Something that Gerb said on that show with Danny is that Greer treats his whistleblowers like they're his, and I think that's true. But it's also happening with other reporters and content creators who have whistleblowers. It's happening amongst many. It's not just him. But he's the one who gets the most like apprehensive about the whistleblowers. That's what I gathered. But
it's
everybody does.
Yeah.
I want. Is Gerb still in the chat? Gerb, are you still here?
I don't think so.
Probably.
He's editing.
I think so, no. He's working on a video.
He told me he was editing, so he told me that he would do a show eventually with us.
We need to get him on a Friday and just chill. Oh yeah, there he is. 3:56 p.m. Oh, it looks like he was here a minute ago. Gerb, we got to get you on a Doomer Friday with us. If you ever have a Friday free, let's get in touch and see it either with me or Xander. We'll get you on the show. And I think
more than anything, as to the amount he's willing to talk about it, I really want to know his method of just like digging in a little bit deeper. I don't want the operational security for any whistleblower to be compromised. And I think obviously Gerb doesn't want that, but you are so far ahead with your research that you could probably help some people get a little bit further than what we currently are without really compromising as far as you've gotten. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
His videos are like a college masterclass for this stuff, and it's Gerb. We really appreciate it, and please keep doing what you're doing, and keep reading and doing the research. Yeah,
that's so cryptic. I am in the chat. I am in the chat. I'm everywhere. I'm always watching.
People in the chat are asking over and over your guys' opinion, our opinion on the Skinny Bob video.
I think it's fake.
I do too.
Yeah, I see it's fake.
I think it's fake.
Nice.
I think because and I can point out a really simple thing that jumps out at me every time I watch it. If you look at so it starts at the top and it pans down, and it's like this top-down view of Skinny Bob. If you look at his hands,
yes,
they both his fingers move like this. It's like a animation for a video game character, like in Mortal Kombat, where they're just sort of sitting there and they kind of do this in the countdown screen. Both his fingers are moving at exactly the same time, and it just looks like an animation thing. It looks fake.
I agree with you. Everything's too smooth and kind of, I don't know. The blinks are weird. It's cool though.
But this is a generational thing, because like the young bloods out there grew up in a world where everything is CGI.
Yeah,
they just don't know what to look for. They don't know how to not see it because they just, it's just invisible to them. We watched it evolve, and so we can spot little things that I think that's just an older piece of CGI from way back when, a piece of a video game or something that got leaked, and then they just ran with it. It took off.
If I saw that in '92, I would shit my pants.
Yes, totally.
Yeah,
but in terms of like,
if it was a toss-up between the Skinny Bob video and the apparent puppet video, I'd put my money on the puppet video.
The alien interview.
Alien interview, yeah. That we did the interview with the ex-wrestler. I'm sorry, I forget his name.
John something. I personally, I like the alien interview video. I think I believe it. I believe it.
The one that Jon Stewart was talking about, like that one.
Yes, yeah.
With what's the guy's name?
But it looks hyperventilating. Yep.
Yeah. And they come in. The eyes look very strange to me.
That one always struck me. It gave me that like the Kummergaz one, certain videos give me a feeling in my stomach, and the alien interview one has always given me that weird, like, ooh, it's just weird. It feels weird. It doesn't, it gets me.
It feels weird because it's like if you were sitting around thinking of, okay, the range of stuff. If you were trying to think of a fake video and you were going to go to the trouble in the 90s of hiring, a camera person, 3 or 4 other people to be in the whatever it takes. And then let's say you wanted to make the puppet. So you've got to have somebody who actually makes puppets, and you have to be somebody who's really good and can do silicone or whatever, or has access to like an effects shop where there already is a puppet that they could use. So it'd have to be somebody in the business or close to it. And it would take a pretty fair amount of resources and people at that time period to make that interview.
It's doable.
John is right when he points out that like the little heart monitor thing, like that's a very unusual thing. He's looked into that. He spent years looking at that. He's like, we can't figure out, that's a custom thing. He talked to the companies that manufacture all the different heart monitors that are used in hospitals. And he's like, I called these people, I showed them what I had. None of them recognized it. So it just seems to me like if you were going to go to all that trouble to fake the scene in a way where it's like what's the scene going to be? It's going to be like an interview, but then the alien is going to weirdly get sick halfway through. And we're going to have these 2 guys walk out and try to like fix, like do first aid. It just seems like a really awkward, odd thing to fake.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you want to, but then again, maybe that's exactly why they did it. Cause it does seem so weird. It could be a puppet. It's definitely possible, but John's pretty adamant that it's not.
To his own detriment, John, I've spoke to him privately at this point. Like he has poured. He believes this video is real. Like to everyone.
Oh, he's sunk so much money into this thing.
Well, that's it.
To everyone who says he's far too animated, he's trying to advertise stuff and things like that. Like, I know personally the guy he's obsessed. To his own fault, he is obsessed with this. He would admit he is obsessed with this video. So he's not a perpetrator. If it is fake, he's a victim more than anything.
John has personally put tens of thousands of dollars of his own money into figuring out.
We've seen the proof of this.
100%. Like he is for real, and whether or not the video is for real, I can't say. But John is convinced that it is, and he is like on the fucking warpath about this video. It is like his white whale. He is going to solve this mystery one way or the other.
Yep.
Okay, guys, I think we've gone over a little bit, but we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. It's about 5 after 4. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about that we haven't covered yet before we call it a day? Last minute thoughts?
Thank you guys again for having us.
For the first time in a long time.
Me. Yeah.
We've managed to cover a lot of stuff today.
We did.
And we didn't even know what we were going to talk about just 5 minutes before the show started. We were sitting here going, Pavel goes, do we know what we're talking about? And I'm like, I don't know.
We'll just wing it. Maybe UAP Gerbil will join the chat. Who knows?
That was the big surprise. Yeah. Guys, we had Jeremy Corbell chimed in via text. UAP Gerb's in the chat. You never know what's going to happen here at the night shift. You got to come hang out with us every Friday. Come here for Doomer Fridays. Thank you for watching. If you've been with us since the beginning of the show, you guys are awesome. You're excellent. You get an extra gold star. I've got an alien invasion of my own happening right now. I'm almost done. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Please like and share this video. Don't be a stranger. Say hi in the comments. Let us know what you think. We will see you soon on the next one. Until then, keep looking up, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe.
Almost done.
Oh, I'm done now.
Hey, Mr. Dirty Dirty.
So do you like UFOs?
Do you like UFOs?